A little bit of a heated loot altercation.
They're just like killing each other with giant spoons. What the fuck? Nice. Oh my god. Hey guys, welcome back. Got another God Emperor Pimp FLEEKAZOID react today. This is an older one of his. This is his Project Zomboid review, the best survival game ever made.
Do you enjoy having high levels of cortisol in your brain?
Yes.
Here I come.
Would you like to spend 10 hours grinding a character only to die because it's too dark to find the exit to the room? Have you said yes, sure, or ye woof? Shout out to the Brits out there. Look no further than Project Zomboid. Project Zomboid is the newest latest trip and fall simulator constructed as a service to raise your blood pressure and induce aneurysms. A game where guns are useless air horns and frying pans reign as the supreme tools for zombie genocide.
Frying pans?
Is a Kentuckian whom you must craft yourself, going through the arduous process of deciding what will go into your Twitter bio and what will define your character as a survivor in the brave new world. This is a game where you can do everything or do nothing and equally accomplish the same main mission of the game. However,
that's so cool. I would do like a challenge of this where I try to do the absolute least I can get away with to win.
Tip for the aspiring Chad is to avoid running when you're exhausted, or you will trip and die, which is the most bitch-made way to die in this game. I mean, not that I would know anything about that. Now join me
I'm sure he's never had that happen to him.
I talk about this version of Minecraft made for fully grown masochists that will get you so addicted that you will stop eating, drinking, and sleeping in real life so that you can do all those things in game instead.
Hell yeah.
Character creation in this game is essentially just choosing how mentally ill you want your character to be in order to get social credits.
I mean,
and you will
that's
then
like the best kind of character creator.
reinvest these points into choosing just how much of a flawless Sigma male you want yourself to be. But I'm getting ahead of myself.
Nice.
Before you do any of that, you must choose an occupation. I almost exclusively play burglar and engineer.
Hell yeah.
And don't worry, if
Love
you don't,
that.
it's okay. You know, it's not a crime to be a imbecile. Moving back to the trait screen, it's all about trade-offs. If you want to be the big strong man, then unfortunately you have to become an Italian. And if you want any other
That's just facts right there.
redeeming qualities on top of that, then it's time you decide just how high you value the ability to read. In my eyes, there are three goated ailments: being deaf, being claustrophobic, and being agoraphobic. Deaf is a given.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Everything is quiet until a jump scare plays at maximum volume. Then there's being
Oh
claustrophobic.
my god, that jump scare. Have you ever played The Sims 1 and then when a burglar is coming to your house, you get like a jump scare from that like crazy Sims 1 burglar music? Oh my god, I just have like PTSD from that.
Which means you are afraid of Germans and being indoors. Specifically being in the doors of small houses where the poor people live. When in warehouses or mansions, all of a sudden they aren't claustrophobic anymore, exposing that they are really just elitists that hate poor people. And then there's being a gamer that upon going outside and touching the grass will quickly devolve into a full-scale panic. Choosing the reasons for why you despise yourself is quite hard, so at first you will likely err to the side of caution by only choosing a few good and a few bad. However, play for the next 20 hours and you'll soon be saying, I was just reading through the Reddit and I've got a real nice meta build coming together, brother. If I pair thirsty fuck without a shake, curvy empowerment, with healer, with hardy appetite, then I can finally have the app traits to live long enough to level my mechanic skills and finally get a car. If you're not ready for that level of commitment, then get off this battle bus and go spin up a random character. Random characters can be just as fun as custom characters because it's a completely randomly generated story every time. Allow me to give you a quick example. They once gave me a gymnast doctor who loved the great outdoors, fishing, hunting, but also being out of shape, smoking, and being
I was gonna say he sounds like a Chad, but never mind.
weak beta male. After 2 hours of being alive, he stopped in at a Motel 6 to rest his lungs, but upon leaving, a horde of zombies tripped him and he fell to the ground and was torn limb from limb. He
This is
lived
actually a hilarious game.
the Chad life and he died a Chad death 6 hours in. An inspiration for youth everywhere. A statue will be constructed in his honor when the new world comes to life.
Nice.
Combat in this game captures the brutality that you would see in famous zombie movies. Sometimes you might get a clean one-hit kill if you're moodle free, but as your mental health declines, you'll have to multiply the hits to kill by like 10, because mental ailments and exhaustion can turn a fine blade into a balloon sword, and you'd be lucky if you could even give a zombie a haircut with this shit. I mean, look at this. Not to mention
why are
the
they so spongy.
These situations bathe the room in blood, and you may kill the zombie. However, what are the untold effects that this will have on your mind? You're definitely developing a hard case of PS4D in the future. Anyways,
PS4D.
there are two situations for combat that you'll find yourself in. You're either fighting a couple of zombies, or you're fighting every single zombie there is. Luckily, if it's only one zombie, you can pretty easily just tip them over and give them the old wit willy.
Nice.
But if it's all the zombies, the council advises you to run as far away as humanly possible, and then run a little further because the house you just tried to break in is protected by an ADT house alarm. You should have checked the lawn first. And although there is a chance that you can take out a solid group of zombies when paired with the right weapon, there are more chances that you will die. If you hurt your foot, you will die. If you trip, you will die. And if you're fortunate, you'll live long enough to see the top right of your screen light up like a Christmas tree, and your swings will have the speed and punching power of a geriatric athlete with joint pain, leading you to waddle for your life as a horde of zombies are 6 inches off of your back, desperately reaching for your cheeks. So the next time the council tells you to run from the horde, you run from the horde.
Yeah.
Now let's dive deeper into the good stuff.
This game looks so fucking cool.
Weapons of micro-destruction, so to speak. Starting with melee, shovels are the best hybrid since God created the Hyundai Elantra. It's an eco-friendly solution that can both kill zombies and bury them immediately after. Simply put, this shit is beast. Then we have the sledgehammer. The sledgehammer
Based and shovel-pilled.
is the best thing since God created the shovel. Nothing exhausts you completely like the sledgehammer, and nothing can cave in a skull like the Ford sledgehammer. You've seen this thing around before in hit games like Tom Clancy's Pride 7 Paradise, the greatest FPS game of all time according to IGN, and the performance here today.
So I'm guessing it's not the greatest game of all time if IGN said it was.
It doesn't disappoint either. Cave in a skull, then knock down some walls or garage doors and shit just to demonstrate your masculinity in front of the zombies. You know what? S tier. Sledgehammer for president. Finally, for melee weapons, we have the frying pan. This is the best thing since God created.
Yeah, why is it the best thing? Is it because it's like lighter than the sledgehammer and the shovel?
Sledgehammer. You can cook with it, you can kill with it, and you can pray with it.
Wait, you can cook in this game too? Well, I guess it is a survival game. I should have seen that coming.
Said he uses the frying pan to defeat his enemies, and now so can you for the low.
Wait, what did that say? Frying pan is the meta Sun Shoe. You know what? Nice one, Sun Shoe.
His enemies, and now so can you for the low price of $5.99. Now let's talk about guns in this game. I won't be giving a top 3 guns watch mojo list because almost every gun in the vanilla game belongs in the trash. I only like one gun, and that's the shotgun. The shotgun is the only gun in this game that actually understands the assignment and does what it is told to do. I point, I shoot, the
So
zombie.
that shotgun is very satisfying.
Die, simple as that. Now try to do that again with a pistol, or a rifle, or a magnum. You can't. Not unless you are so specced into aiming that you look down the sight and see the future because you are a deadeye and a prophet. And if you are, I bet you can't tell me the numbers on the front of your mom's credit card and the 3 special digits on the back. That wasn't a question. You better start talking. Alright, anyways, I'll spare your ears from the 5-minute rant I just cut out about how bad pistols are. I just need you to take one more look at this for me.
Yeah, the pistols do look like they suck. Like, get a shotgun or get a frying pan.
Trash.
Yeah.
Do I really need to say anything else here? Wear as many coats and shirts as your mortal soul will allow you to wear. The health and staying alive aspects of this game are incredibly realistic, as I can now take up a pill addiction and maintain my alcoholism, which is actually a pretty solid strat for surviving in a zombie-infested world, by the way. When I get a little panicky, I take my beta blockers, and the testosterone comes running back into my veins, my hairline stops receding, and I go from beta to sigma male just like that. When I get
I love how getting crossfaded is a strategy.
tired, I take my night-night pills and collapse on the floor. And when I get a little depressed, I take up an alcohol addiction because it hits the trifecta of good living. For an original development team of only a small group of Brits and Canucks, they really nailed the American healthcare system. Then there's the ouchie side of health. Now I'm gonna be really honest with you here. I originally made this whole section of the video where I really broke down the health and ouchies part of, you know, keeping your character alive. And then after actually making all of it, I watched it back and realized, yeah, I was completely fucking wrong about almost all of it. So instead of reading the wiki and trying to regurgitate it to you, I'll tell you what I know for sure instead. If you sustain a workplace injury that gets infected, don't worry about it. They go away. This has never killed me. But now if you sustain a zombie-related injury that makes you queasy, you better start preparing your final rites because you're going to get an at-home checkup from the Avengers real soon. Unless, of course, you take my miracle cure. That's right. I, faceless YouTube man that you can totally trust with a doctorate that I just made an and MS Paint have the cure to zombification. Now, first I grabbed 3 bottles of bleach and then I chugged that shit. Food is also a critical part of survival.
Oh, hot dog!
In the beginning of the game, you have all the food, but eventually the power grid collapses, leading all of the milk to spoil along with any other fresh meat, fresh fruit. Pretty much anything that you should keep in fridges will spoil and nothing will remain. Sure, you could farm, trap your fish, but what am I? Who am I? Where am I? On Bill Gates' farmland? What am I gonna do? Plant plants and wait for them to grow like some fool? Then cook it up in a fresh meal? Hell no, in fact. I once tried to cook a
No, I just realized Fleek doesn't have his character with the googly eyes. Maybe this was like the first version of it was this. This is like some OG shit right here.
Hell no, in fact. I once tried to cook a dish and I accidentally poured bleach in it because it quickly popped up in the pasta preparation menu. At which point I said, what? Am I gonna scoop that out with my hands or something? No, I cooked that shit and I ate it like a goddamn red-blooded American. And I died like a goddamn red-blooded American about 5 minutes later. There's only one good option
so what is the point of doing this?
in the apocalypse, and that's canned beans. Bush's baked beans are the true zombie apocalypse food of the NBA. They satiate, they carb load, and there's a high content of vitamin D. Canned beans are S tier, no doubt about it. I'll also...
Wait, let me look at the other S tiers. Bananas, Chick-fil-A, Copium, Grand Theft Auto 5, and then baked beans. What the f***?
I'll also give honorable mentions to other canned products such as peas, spaghetti bolognese, and Lay's chips. That's food. With everyone dead and you alone, there are so many options for where you should hang your hat in these troubling times. One option is to colonize a grocery store and barricade all the windows and doors so that no one can get in and you have exclusive reign over the pop section. However,
that actually sounds like the best strategy I've heard about this game so far. Like, I'm gonna do that.
This without proper experience can lead to a horde of shoppers raiding your home, forcing you to quickly abandon it because you have no clue how to defend against a horde.
Okay, I changed my mind.
2 is living in your car like a true baller. Car living is for wealthy men only. See this 1986 Acura Integra? You know why they call it that? Because it takes integrity to live in it. If Jesus was here today, he wouldn't have lived in a church's chicken. He would have lived in the Integra. It's got pockets for days, rolling storage, great gas mileage, good speeds, and you can drive it with only 3% engine condition and just keep flicking the engine back on as it fails. The whip never dies, it multiplies. It's car living or no living for this guy. Option 4 is building your own home. This is not a great option. I spent my whole playthrough.
So you're telling me the living in a van by the river is a better strategy than building a home in the survival game?
Through looking forward to building a home with my own 2 hands. 2 hands Tommy, they call me, just fondling planks and laying.
2 hands Tommy, they call me.
Pipe. However,
fondling planks and pipe.
After putting down all the needed floors, walls, and windows, I went to go throw up the roof when I discovered there are no roofs in this game.
What?
My dream was a lie, life was a lie, and the only way to make a roof was by placing floors on the roof, and the only way to do that would be making stairs, which requires level 6 carpentry. Too much carpentry, bad option. Option 3 is a good old pillow fort, impenetrable, durable, no girls allowed, zombies be damned, no one is getting in here. Option 2 is reinforcing an affluent man's home over in the suburbs. This is much better than reinforcing a grocery store because it's usually a low traffic area and you can have things like a garage, better schools, and multiple stories. In fact, you don't even have to reinforce the first floor of a rich home because you can just put some ropes out the second floor windows, pull out that big hammer of yours, knock down those stairs, and now no one can get up to your room. However, those ropes will be
my god, this like shot is it's just like giving Sims 1 right now.
Destroyed, and you will not be home when it happens, breaking the only passage to get to your stuff. This shit, I'm moving back into my whip. There are an abundance of options when it comes to cars in Project Zomboid. There are vans, sedans, lowriders.
Well, now I know it's definitely not The Sims 4 because they have cars.
Trucks and sports cars. As you already know, I feel very strongly about their dominance in the mobile living game, but I will heed great warning to those that enjoy fast driving. I've died many times at the wheel, crashing into various trees. I'm talking pine, oak, Christmas, birch, you name it, I've crashed into it. Additionally, if there are giant mounds of bodies conveniently laid in the street, it is 100% possible that you can send your car flipping violently if you do a sharp turn over said convenient bodies. So, yeah, so watch out for that.
Oh my god!
Additionally, I would avoid driving into crowds of zombies with your car in Project Zomboid. Make that real clear. A much better alternative is
Let's be real clear about that one.
donuts to wipe out a horde with the sides of your car. You can maintain much better momentum and defy the laws of physics while paving over your enemies.
god, that looks so satisfying.
A 10 strat right here. Now, actually getting a car is about as easy as everything else in this game, meaning not at all. Did you choose burglar as your occupation? Dude, good for you. Now all you have to do is find an operational car, find a fuel can for that car, find another car with gas to fill up the fuel can for that car, and hope it never breaks, because you sure as shit can't fix it, you idiot.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
Did you not choose burglar as your occupation? Well, now you must level both your mechanical to level 2 and your electrical to level 1. I have no clue how to level electrical because I only play engineer. However, leveling mechanics can be done by tearing driver's seats out of cars along with windows, trunks, doors, and everything else, then placing them back on. Reading a book on it helps, but finding mechanics for beginners is about as easy as finding the sequel to the Bible. Anyways, once you've got all that leveled, you do the same things as the burglar to get a car, and now you are home free to start driving. Now, my first experience driving went a little something like this. I whipped out the whip, drove it immediately into a fence, then into a tree, then into another tree, and then I was home free on I-75, not a care in the world. Hair flowing in the wind, full speed ahead, when I crashed into a police roadblock, still manned by the police, by the way, and totaled the car. It took 20 hours to get my first car and 2 minutes to lose it. But what a ride it was.
Damn, that sucks.
You see, my favorite thing about Project Zomboid is that one playthrough takes place all in the same world, kind of like the MCU or the Bible. By the way, you wouldn't believe how long it took for me to figure that one out. I thought I was just constantly running into vaguely familiar people with a lot of gear on them.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm kind of retarded.
This therefore makes spawning in the same town repeatedly increasingly more difficult because you keep loading up your characters and then sending them to trip, fall, and die in the midst of a horde. But what this also unlocks is an opportunity. An opportunity to find your old character, kill them, and gain back whatever was on them at the time of their death.
Oh my god, that is so cool. Wait, I like never see that happen in a game, that you could create a character, then you start a new one, then you could find your old one and then like kill them and take their stuff that you like had in your last playthrough. Wait, this is like actually blowing my mind right now. Like, is there any other game where you could like do this? Like, this is so cool.
I wouldn't pretend this is very emotional. Most of the time, it's just too damn funny how I died and what I must do to get all my stuff back. For example, one dark and lonely night, much like every night in Project Zomboid, by the way, I was stealing gas from a car outside of a chicken fillet when a horde snuck up on me because they're famously very light-footed and feather-like. I then tried to quickly run back to my car, but the prompt to hop in was not popping up, and I couldn't see for shit, so I was quickly surrounded.
This gives me anxiety.
Brutally murdered. Very angry, I now immediately sent my next character to kill the old character over at the KFC up the street. However, this character tripped while looking for our man like the clunk fool he is and died. The next attempt ended similarly as our man jumped into the Zaxby's window and was quickly crushed by the clown car of zombies that followed him in. Now entering the third stage of grief, I began bargaining. All I need to do is just get a shotgun and then I can go run back to that Popeyes and plug our man, then loot his body later. Easy as that. When I entered the establishment, I ran in the door, shot ourselves smack dab in the chest, watched him fall to the ground, and then tripped and died in the corner. But being the buffoon I am, I was pumping my fist and rejoicing. You and I just saw me kill him. The next bit is easy, I thought. So I sent the next guy back to that Bojangles restaurant, yelled something
this is a good strategy. Oh, I love where this is going.
About the American healthcare system, and all the Americans stood up and began running out of the Cluck and Bell, chasing me up the street. I then stampeded the massive horde into an IHOP where they got distracted by the new Mexican Tres Leches heart-stopping Mega Maximo combo, and I was able to sneak around the back and return to the Raising Cane's fried chicken establishment. Yet upon getting inside, I noticed the body of our old character wasn't there. The shotgun blast didn't kill him, and now he probably Hannibal Lectered his way out of the restaurant and into the wild where I would never see him ever again. This was a solid hour I lost enthralled in this little side story involving fried chicken, revenge, and shotguns, an experience you simply cannot get in any other game. The modding community for
I
this
bet the mods are like crazy.
game is awesome. There are so many mods that can completely change and improve the game to be whatever experience you want it to be. Brita's weapon pack adds many new guns like LMGs, miniguns,
these guns actually look like they work too.
RPGs, and even some guns from movies like John Wick and games like Escape from Tarkov, another masochistic game I love playing.
Get it.
Then there are ones such as my man Filibuster, who adds tons of new cars to the game and swaps them out for vanilla cars to make for some unexpectedly hilarious encounters when exploring the world. But my favorite mods are the meme ones crafted by people who've also lost their minds and are descending into mania. Mods exist that do things like make every loose item in the world a comically large object that has no business being that large, and consequently also breaking the game and opening black holes in the map. You can turn jump scare noises into meme sound effects such as the Vine include BitConnect, Dr. Phil, and many
my
more.
God.
You can make headshots play the bonk
Just
sound
make every like headshot, every bonk sound, just the Vine boom.
effect, or play the Yoda death noise upon your death in game. Add
my God,
folding
so
chairs
funny.
as weapons. Add traits for schizophrenia and Tourette's, or add boomboxes
Wait, what is the Tourette's like in this game? Wait, you need to explain that.
that add real-life copyrighted music to the game so that you can gun down a zombie horde to Feliz Navidad or perhaps Country Roads by John Colorado.
That's so
I could keep
funny.
forever, but there are just too many good mods to keep listing. With the latest
Multiplayer,
update, now
what?
multiplayer is a thing, and you can learn just how many ways you can be killed by your friends. All right, real quick, I'm just curious, is there friendly fuck? Let's just run down the list of some pretty common ones, shall we? You know, everyday occurrences, multiplayer, real run-of-the-mill stuff. Could happen to anyone. You can be shot in the back of the head with 12 gauge on accident. You can be bit and put to death by a firing squad of LMG spray. You can just be having a gaffe, closing the door on your friend repeatedly, and then be shot in the chest. Please, please, just a prank.
Oh God!
You make it into a little bit of a heated loot altercation.
You know, they're just like killing each other with giant spoons. What the fuck? Oh my God.
Or perhaps be forced to chug bleach at gunpoint, after
my
which the
God.
assailant will then set the house on fire to hide the evidence, run through that fire, therefore catching themselves on fire, and then running into the darkness where seconds later you will hear a faint noise of death. Alternatively, your friend may try to run you over in their sports car, to which you will shoot an RPG into their front windshield, kill them, and then shortly after die yourself. But how? Let's hop into the booth.
This multiplayer in this game looks so funny.
Another look. As you can see right here in slow-mo, we kill the driver, but then the car keeps rolling towards us and then bumps into us, causing us to stumble and fire another rocket into the air. And as we are still stumbling, it floats delicately into the air, abiding to Newton's law of grenades,
What?
and then lands, blowing me up and the two zombies behind me, leaving everyone
Oh my
very
God.
dead. Finally, another very common scenario is being hit by a van and pinned underneath it, luring
Oh,
many
no.
zombies around the car
wait,
trying to get
what?
at you.
What the fuck? Where'd they all come from?
At which point your friend will then leave you to die, generously coming back to throw creepy sirens that attract more zombies, then leaving, and coming back to throw Molotovs that kill you, and leaving, then coming back once more to light them up with a grenade launcher,
Oh
killing
my
everyone
God.
else. And to top it all off, they will have the audacity to move the car, stand over the bodies, then ask, "Hey man, you still alive?" He was then caught on fire and died himself.
Oh my God.
10 out of 10. Project Zomboid is brutal, relentless, and will cause you untold mental instability and incredibly high blood pressure at times. But the constant
Sounds like my kind of game.
immersion and pain and struggle makes this survival game more challenging and more rewarding than any other game on the market. You must leave this video knowing that this game is a goddamn masochistic masterpiece, and I highly recommend that anyone that hasn't tried this game try it now for the low price of $20. And if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. You are the best thing ever made since God created frying pans.
Nice. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please help me feed the algorithm gods and like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And let me know of any other videos you'd like me to react to.